We had 2 races left on our budget. Went to the last race. Truck was all black. Literally no sponsor. I had like a tire sponsor paying me enough money to get me to the track, and I won. And Mark Hall saw me on the podium, and I got a call on Monday, and he literally, that was it. I swear we were done racing.
That's a good person to see you on the podium.
He, at that time, he was a part of the organization with Mitch Covington, where they were helping run the series.
Yep.
And dude watched me and literally believed in what I wanted to do.
Yep.
And that changed. That was it right there. But at that point, I wasn't into Jeeping, but basically Monster allowed me to create my own personality. And like off-road, Jeeping is my vibe now.
Unleashed with the Dingo and Danny, fueled by Monster Energy.
YouTube, man. Got 2 kids.
I want to have kids, so I'm like up to times again. Like I know what's cool.
Your jacket's very loud.
Is it? Should I take it off?
I mean, take it off.
It was cold outside.
Take it off.
Blast that Currie gear, dude.
Take it off.
You can buy my merch at
Oh yeah, Currie Enterprises.
It is
It's
loud.
it's a very loud jacket.
Yeah, it is.
Just so you know.
I just got it from here, like a couple weeks ago.
Don't try and sneak up wearing that thing. Ladies and gentlemen, longtime friend of mine, but longtime Monster Energy off-road, Casey Currie is in the hot seat.
Crowd goes wild.
Crowd goes crazy.
Oh, they're throwing beer cans at us.
And Danny Cass is here as usual. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing really good.
You look good. Your hair's growing back. Show us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I just got a haircut, which was 4 years in the making. And then I got another haircut.
You got like a Tom Cruise vibe going on.
Well, I did just watch the movie Top Gun.
What did you think about it?
I was actually really impressed. I started watching with you at your house, and then I pulled the ejection cord and went to bed. And then the second half was so much better than the first. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, did you like
I did like it, but you got to watch it with the surround sound system. You know, like the movie has a lot of effects to it.
Effects?
It's got a lot of music, and there's a lot of sound from motors that you can hear from behind.
Yeah.
Definitely bummed I didn't go watch that in the movie theater. Did you? Brittany Palmer here, as always. Brittany.
Hello. No, I haven't even seen it yet. Isn't that bad?
Yeah,
I
that is pretty
know.
bad. Did you see the first one?
I think a long time ago.
Do you think?
I think.
You know if you saw Tom Cruise in Top Gun.
I think I saw it a long time ago.
What happens? She hasn't seen it.
Volleyball on the beach. Come on.
Yeah.
But
Short off volleyball on the beach. Yo, they redid that scene pretty good. Did you like the first or the second one better?
I mean, there's some of the aspects in the second one with the flying, because I heard from people that were in the industry that they literally were flying. It wasn't all done.
So Tom really flies.
Yeah, they were like flying in the plane. So a lot of the features and stuff were actually real, which makes it more fun instead of it just being in a simulator.
Because usually I think with movies that, especially such a long break, and usually the second one or the follow-up or the sequel is never as good.
Agree.
You know, and I feel like this one was pretty damn close, if not better.
Yeah. Well, the numbers showed they killed it in the ratings.
You know what's crazy with that is that he sat on that movie. That was done like just before pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And
Didn't he freak out on that movie? Like he was just like, do you understand? They had that whole video of him like ripping the set and everyone a new asshole.
Oh, that was from that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, unless he did another movie during COVID.
I heard I probably did like 6.
Shred fact.
He's a bit of a workaholic, but that
Right.
movie was done extremely
I feel like I need to watch both now.
You do.
Back to
Yeah, you
back.
should.
Start first. Yeah, go to the first.
Go to the first
Yeah,
and then just,
absolutely
circle back.
So Casey is kind of an off-road enthusiast from all sorts motorbikes. You started out riding dirt bikes.
Yep.
You competed at like at 6.
Yep.
And then Jeeps, which you're very well known for, and ATVs, which you're very well known for. What is what's the common denominator between that?
So basically, our whole family, like my uncles, my dad, my grandpa, all my cousins, we all rode dirt bikes. Everybody rode dirt bikes. Even my dad and them were almost professional when they were kids. And then when they turned 16, they started working for our family business, and they made the decision at 18 that like it was either the family business or racing. They quit racing to go work for the business, which was better for us. So 20 years later, when we came around, we started racing and fell in love with it. And for me, dirt bikes is where, we all loved the passion. But for me, 21, I was like, first, I wasn't fast enough to be pro. So to me, I was like,
you kind of look a little bit like Ricky Carmichael.
whoa, he did. Which for me, it's funny.
That's the fastest guy ever.
100%. But I'm not.
He worked hard for it.
He worked really hard. So he worked really hard. But no, I think the biggest thing is like, I wasn't going to be the guy. And then I got an opportunity.
How hard is it to I mean, I think a lot of people in those positions know, but how hard was it to make that? That's a hard decision.
That's
a childhood dream type shit.
100%. The blessing for me was that the opportunity to race a truck came at the same time I was racing motorcycles. So like, it was an easy, like, hey, I'm going to stop doing that. It wasn't like I quit and then completely went away from racing. It was, I was racing motorcycles. Nissan actually was like, hey, we like the way you represent yourself. We like what you got going on, like on some other projects I had. And they're like, if you want the opportunity to go racing, like we have an opportunity in a truck. So I was like, well, shoot, that's it. That day I never raced a motorcycle since. In 2006, I literally raced. The season ended in October. I got this opportunity in November. That was it. I sold everything I owned, motorcycle related, and never came back.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
you're born into the motorsports family, and there's been a family business for over 60 years in building off-road high performance stuff for off-road NASCAR style, and now kind of you run the business. How was the business started? Who started the business?
So Grandpa started the business. He was a side project for another company called Taylor Dunn. They make golf carts for like industrial golf carts at like Anaheim Stadium or any stadium across country. Basically chicken farms, anything that did industrial, they made the rear ends, or they made the whole carts. Then my grandpa on the side would sell him parts. And then for his passion was always like muscle cars, hot rods, Jeeps. So he started building performance rims for that. And then when my dad and my uncles got old enough, like 18, 19, they started taking it over. And then it grew from there. So my dad and them grew the company massive. And then 3 years ago, the opportunity came right before COVID for us to step in and basically take over the reins. So
35 years of age, there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, we had some, my grandpa was the deal that there's no handouts. No one's getting a free ride. So the way he wrote the family trust, the way he laid out a business strategy with my dad and my uncles was that no kid is getting any handouts, period. No money given to any of us. And we had a way when I was 35, when basically we figured out a way that, hey, if we separate the company into two different companies, that way no cousins work together, then we can take it over. And it basically makes it so my grandpa was correct. We'd have all completely ruined everything because money ruins everything.
Every single time.
Isn't that
crazy?
It really would. And like, we look at it now going like, dude, I have a brother and it's hard enough working with just him. To have like two more cousins involved, it'd have been gnarly. So we separated, it all worked out great. Now we're running it. But at the same time, my grandpa made it where everybody but me in the family went and got a college degree. Everyone had a career.
What degree did you get?
No, I actually, I'm one semester shy of actually having my bachelor's in marketing and business administration.
Right.
But
what's that last class?
I have like one history class and one
sex ed.
I don't even know what it was. It was like
He's got some kids.
I literally stopped because when I wrote my marketing,
well, clearly he didn't he didn't get the banana trick.
Yeah. It was the dumbest. Now I look at it, it was one semester, but then I created, at that time, I started my own business utilizing their tools. It was like, I'm making more money than the teacher. I'm going to stop.
Facts. He's actually a Find Your Grind mentor, guys.
Yeah. Now
look him up.
Yeah.
I got a video here that I wanted to. So this is like this is a huge viral video.
Oh, damn.
And here are one of your Jeeps that obviously you've built. But explain what's happening right here.
So in the video, the reason it went viral is, well, it is steep. Obviously,
how?
It's very steep. But in the video, there's a couple like denominators that made it blow up. But like the winch line looks like it's out. So people think that you're driving straight up and being helped by a rope. But technically, you're not. That's Chapman in 4 Motorsports. But we literally, it is vertical, and the way everything lined up with the winch line looking like it was out, everyone thought it turned into a fight, which people are like, it's fake, it's real, it's fake. So it just,
and there was no winch line.
There's
on that
no winch line. But there's no reason to argue, because no matter what, I'm an idiot. According to the internet, everything you say.
What did the internet say about this?
You got people that have never seen Jeeping that saw it for the first time, so they're blown away. And then you have the people in the industry that think they know more than everybody, telling us that it's fake or that it's being winched up. See how the winch, you could see there's like a little deal at the front.
Yeah.
So with that, it really does look fake.
That's so sick. Now, you built these Jeeps?
Yep. So dude, that's a passion project. So what's funny is in 2007, when I almost quit racing to the point where like the budgets ran out, the Nissan deal was done. And
how old were you then?
It's 24, 25. But literally it's all coming to an end. And we had 2 races left on our budget. Went to the last race. Truck was all black, literally no sponsor. I had like a tire sponsor paying me enough money to get me to the track, and I won. And Mark Hall saw me on the podium, and I got a call on Monday, and he literally, that was it. I swear we were done racing.
That's a good person to see you on the podium.
He at that time he was a part of the organization with Mitch Covington, where they were helping run the series.
Yep.
And dude watched me and literally believed in what I wanted to do.
Yep.
And that changed. That was it right there. But at that point, I wasn't into Jeeping, but basically Monster allowed me to create my own personality. And like off-road, Jeeping is my vibe now.
Yeah. And you've obviously excelled at that. How like, cause I've actually seen a Jeep at your factory that looks like a regular Jeep, but it is not a regular Jeep. How do you make these things look like they're street legal, but they are far from street legal? So
we have ones that, the ones we race in Baja, we try to make them look like the Jeep, but like some of the fiberglass and some of the bodywork will make it look like a Jeep, but underneath it's 900 horsepower. It's got 30 inches of travel, 40-inch tall tires, do 120 miles an hour in the desert, no problem. So like the image is to make it look like, what you're driving down the street. So then we also have the ones going down the street that are more street legal-ish, that can go down the highway at 90 miles an hour with the wife driving and feel comfortable. But it also will be capable enough to do everything you see on the trails.
Yeah. You won Dakar 2020?
Yep.
Was that pre-COVID?
Yeah. I literally won. That was the worst win ever because the worst
win ever.
Well, because as far as like, hey, I won at the beginning of January. COVID locked down in March. So when I was supposed to go and start traveling the United States to go and do all these cool talk shows and go like promote,
everything got canceled.
There's nothing. So like I was supposed to go to New York to go visit like New York and do all these talk shows and morning news. It was all lined up in February, and February is when they started slowing down, and in March it was like, you're not going anywhere. It's all done.
COVID fucked. We were in, we all got COVID at X Games that year.
Yeah.
And they didn't tell us for a while that COVID was a thing. So we spread COVID for a while.
It's big super spreader. It's me and him. I feel like we've been spreading it ever since quite a bit.
For the people that don't know, like kind of explain to us what Dakar is and what you kind of have to go through to win that race.
So Dakar is, first it is the hardest race in the world for off-road. It's anywhere from 8 to 14 days, depending on the year. Every day counts. You don't get to take a day away. So like if it's a 10-day rally, or for the year one, it was 10 days of racing, 250 to 500 miles a day, and every day counts. So like if you have a bad day the day before, you start in the back and then you got to work your way to the front again. So every day counts. So it's a moving circus. The year we won, we were in Saudi Arabia. We started on one side of the country and worked our way to the other side of the country.
So you're in the middle of, you're in desert land.
You're in desert land. So it takes about 65, we had about 65 people on our team. So you have motorhome drivers, mechanics, engineers.
And everyone's moving with you?
Everyone. So, the way it works is during the day while I'm racing, the mechanics are sleeping, and then the truck drivers and the motorhome drivers and the drivers are driving from another place, from the start to where I'm going to finish on the highway while we're driving in the dirt. and they work all night long. Normally they get done 4 or 5 in the morning. While I'm waking up to get in the race car, they're like just making sure we're all good to go. But you're doing that for 10 days. So the reason it gets so hard is because mentally you're exhausted, right?
How hot is it?
No, it's how cold is it? So we were it was in the 20, like in the morning, 20 to 30 degrees in the morning. You're doing highway sections for 4 hours at that temperature. And then during the day, it'll get up to 100, 110 because you'll go from different altitudes. So you have to be prepared for all that without taking any clothes on or off.
So how do you prepare for that?
Basically, where do you want to be? Do you want to be cold or do you want to be hot?
What about snacks?
I'd want to be hot. I think.
No snacks.
No snacks.
What about bathroom breaks?
Be honest.
You pee. We have a catheter. You gotta pee right in the car.
I did this once where I had to pee in the car, and I didn't realize how hard it would be to actually pee yourself as an adult because you're bouncing around.
I mean, how
But
easy.
you're like, no, it's hard. It really is.
You're bouncing trying to pee,
And then
so you got to
finally-
actually focus on pissing because you're trying to piss. But then once you go, it's the best feeling ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it
Okay,
takes a
well,
lot to go.
I literally can't
I
have
would
anyone
never-
talk to me. I gotta literally turn the volume down on the radio, tell my co-driver, look, dude, I need 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I gotta focus.
Have you ever,
Wow.
like, catheter ever come out and you just pissed your seat?
I have not, but my co-driver, actually he's in this building right now, has done it like 5 times.
Yeah, the one
Dude.
time I did it, I ripped the catheter straight out and just sat in my own piss for like 10
Ow.
hours.
It
So
happens.
gross.
It happens.
So
And the worst is when it gets all cold and you're like in it and it's just bouncing around.
yeah,
all
it feels
cold.
good until it kind of cools down.
No, the worst is even we had it happen where Aaron had it fell out, but that wasn't the problem. Now it's getting nighttime. It was he got out of the car and the next co-driver for the next part got in. It's just like getting into a
Away.
You
wet
just sit in
seat.
somebody else's piss.
Oh,
That's
That
all
sound fun,
hot.
Brittany?
No, it doesn't. This
Yeah,
whole
it's
thing
just
doesn't
wet
sound
piss,
fun.
dust,
Being cold or
gas.
hot, peeing in a
you'd
tube.
love it. It's gonna be the best.
It's not.
But when you're
not mine.
when you're in this thing, right? So you have all 200 to 500 miles to go. Like, what happens if you're having car troubles? I know, like a tire you can change easily, but if there's something bigger, does that cancel you out of the race?
So the way it goes here, we have a big, like there's these big like trash trucks that have a bunch of parts on it. They're normally 2 to 4 hours behind you on the trail. Now, not every team has it, but some of the bigger teams do. We had that. But if you have to wait for that, you're basically out of the race as far as contention for the overall. So you have to be able to fix it yourself. So like for myself, the co-driver's a mechanic. I'm mechanically inclined somewhat. And then
You're not good at mechanics?
I can change anything. It's just not, I would say that during Dakar, my co-driver for Dakar, like he's a full-time mechanic for a race team. That's all he works on. So
Yeah.
like day in, day in, he's all about
Like you
changing.
can get it done if you need to, but at
yeah,
that time,
100%.
your job is to
Help him. Like
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
and everything is strategized because it's all about time. So like if you break down, if you can't fix it, you're on your own. So like when halfway through the race, you start strategizing with your teammates, right? Like, okay, we're going to put one of my teammates will follow me. So that way, or, be ahead of me. So that way, if I have a problem, he'll stop and we can address the problem together. If we need to take parts off his car, we will. If not, what can we do to get the car to the finish? So there's like a crazy amount of like strategy that goes into it. Cause like, if you have a problem, like everything has a time on it, right? How long is everything going to take? And that's where one of the reasons we got a big lead is like on one day, a bunch of people broke axles. Like the average time to change an axle is like 45 minutes and we changed it in 8 minutes.
Dang.
So
when
like,
you broke yours, you changed it.
yeah, we changed it. Like almost the top 10 guys all had a problem. Like the course was super rocky that day. Just axles were a weak link in that stage. And literally we were able to get ours changed in 8 minutes. So like you can't make up 30 minutes driving. It's going to be impossible.
That's insane. I can't change anything. in 8 minutes. I can barely change my pants. Like,
There you go.
there you go. But
Something
Taking
to
the
work
whole
on.
part.
Something to work on.
Really?
Dan.
Dude, yeah, I literally had to pull like the whole back of the car. But literally you have the tools pre-aligned, like how you're going to do it. Everything is set. Like there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. Like every tool has a position in the car, right? So when that happens, you're ready to go to attack. Like there's no like, hey, I'm looking for the wrench. I don't know. Did you put that away?
So if it's a car, essentially, the car doesn't stop for 10 days, is it?
Yeah, 10 days.
10 days. And then one thing I learned the one time I was at Baja, teams to like try and get time back, they would do like a rolling stop where they wouldn't actually stop. They would keep rolling and then fill the gas tank up. And we saw a guy explode from that.
Oh, shit. I did not
It can
see
go
it going
horribly
there.
wrong. But does that happen at Dakar as well?
In Dakar, it's different. So like when we race in Baja, it's you start and then when it's done, right? So like if you're stopping to get gas, you're just wasting time.
Right.
In Dakar, they have pit stops that you're basically mandatory. Like they'll say, hey, you're going to pull in and you have a timer on your dash.
Yep.
You have 20 minutes.
To gas up.
Yeah, to gas
You
up.
could pee in that 20 minutes
That's right.
too.
You could get out and pee.
Poop.
Eat.
Well, I mean, there's no bathrooms, but I mean, you could if you had to.
Poop.
Yeah.
But you probably don't eat much before this race.
Not like
or
you
keep
got to
it real light.
strategize what you eat because
Gotta
right
fast.
after
Yeah.
10 days or after 6, that's where most people like, what happens is people don't want to pee in the car. So they'll stop drinking a lot of water, right? So then that way they don't have to pee. Well, 5 or 6 days in, you're dehydrated, right? Now you're not as sharp as you should be. So like for me, dude, I'm a big catheter guy. I'll pee. The whole floor of my car will be full of sand, wet sand all day for the mechanics to have to scoop out of the car every night.
What? So is yours just the one that goes over it,
Yep.
or it goes in?
Yeah. Holy. I can't have somebody else
I
help me
thought
put
that they
that
all
thing
went
on.
in.
No, it's like a condom with a little nipple on the end that has a hose attached.
They all have little nipples.
And then the hose comes all the way out to your leg, and then with the leg,
Yeah, it's out the
It must
out
be
the-
so easy to be a boy.
and then when you eat, you got to keep it light. You're not doing like
Yeah,
big
100%.
nachos
See, no,
plates before.
Protein bars.
So that's the other weird thing. So the way
no
it works is
jalapenos.
you like they have a catering staff that comes in for the whole entire rally.
Yeah.
But you eat like everything's covered. All meats are covered in a sauce, so you almost never know what you're actually eating.
Really?
wait,
then
when you're
there's-
in Saudi,
Oh, when you're Saudi, and then it's
no
always
pork
camel
there.
there.
It's
no
always
salami
yeah.
there, Dan.
and then it's noodles. It's always noodles. So like
noodles.
yeah, they like for carbs they'll do a noodle and some
Okay.
sort of covered meat.
And
like
you
in
don't know
sauce.
what it
You've
is.
never yeah. So I did a bunch. I hooked myself. I just brought a bunch of mac and cheese and then like the little chicken in a can.
Oh, okay.
Kept it basic.
A little bit of dog food here and there.
10 days of
Wow.
if you have a stomach, that's our part. You have a stomach ache.
Oh yeah, I got a
Good.
sensitive stomach.
Oh,
I'd be
dude.
like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten
Yeah.
all those nachos last night. Aren't you lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
Let's start the race.
Yeah. That dude, and that's the hard part though. Those people that because you and your co-driver have to be in the car the entire time. You can't switch out ever for
Okay.
anybody else. So like got a headache and you're on a highway section, you think that somebody could come help, instant disqualification.
No booze.
Like you
No,
can't
but
switch.
you're not even allowed to have alcohol in Saudi Arabia.
So the
Oh.
so the
Yeah,
That's a whole
it's a
nother
BYO thing.
Yeah.
so the navigator. Can you switch with the navigator and drive?
You can.
Okay.
You can.
Do
we never
you?
did. No, we never did.
What's the like? It's pretty hard to win the Dakar, right?
It like 40,
Impossible.
47 years, no Americans ever won it.
That's
So, like,
crazy.
and
So you're
they're
kind of like
trying
an
every year.
American
But
hero in off-roading.
You won it.
Yeah, we won. Dude, we
He did win it, Dan.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. He said 40. No
You're
one.
sitting with an
Yeah.
American hero.
This is, you're like Tom
But it's-
Cruise
Right? No, it honestly
with the
but it-
real life version.
it's wild though how big like in the United States we have so many things that are big like that we think are big.
Yeah.
Like NASCAR's big here. Like now Formula 1 is insane. But like Dakar
But we don't
Rally-
even have we don't have one NASCAR driver. I mean, one F1 driver
Yeah.
that's American.
I know.
What's
Isn't that
F1?
crazy? See, there you go.
Yeah.
Tell me you've seen it on Netflix.
He don't-
F1.
Formula One.
Formula 1?
Oh, I haven't watched the Formula One show on
You
Netflix,
haven't?
but I know what Formula
Yeah, but that'll
One
change your whole demeanor on what you're watching now.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's real or fake because
Really?
I mean it could be a total soap
it's
opera.
real.
No, Dingo's seen the cars I drive. I'm not a Formula One guy. I'm a Jeeper also.
Your Jeeper?
Oh yeah, I got a 2005 Unlimited.
He won it.
The
He won
extended
two.
one.
Gave one to his mom and gave one to.
I kept it though. I still drive it.
You actually won a Jeep and that's what you drive?
at X
I
Games.
drove 2 Jeeps in 1 year.
No way.
Yeah, it was like the best year of my life.
He's not a big car guy.
And I gave one to my mom, and then I drove the other one to 100,000 miles. And
He won it through X Games.
Yeah.
And it was in 2005.
So it was the unlimited version.
And it was a long one.
Yeah.
You know that's worth like 40 grand right now today. It's worth probably 10 grand more than retail.
I need to bring it to your shop,
Dude.
let you tool it up,
Let-
and then resell it.
You right now, how much miles does it have?
100
350,000.
It just hit 100,000 miles.
That's it.
Yeah,
Dude, that's a good car right there.
really.
It's already
telling
been
you.
done up. I forget who did it. I'm not going to mention names here, but it was an ex monster person.
They didn't do a very good job.
But they put wheels on it and like a winch on it and like whatever.
Check it out
else.
sometime.
I'll send you some
Show him
photos.
pictures.
Yeah, send me some- yeah.
Sell that thing. Are they
No,
really?
I'm not selling. I want to keep it for my Jeep, my beach car as well.
Yeah, it's soft top or hard top?
Hard top. Finally, I went through 2 soft tops on it, And
Soft
they're
tops
really
don't
hard
wow.
to get the hard tops
Yes,
at
they
that time.
are.
For
Hard.
I had to drive to Tijuana, or not Tijuana, Chula Vista. To
Where's
get this
Chula
hard top.
Vista?
It's
Right-
near
right-
Chula Vista.
right
Dang,
above.
I think you were going to Tijuana for something else. Dan.
No.
Why dirt, not concrete?
Just always been dude, the passion for me is in the dirt. Everything we do has been in the dirt. And once I became like a professional racer and found my niche in short course off-road racing, which was very popular 10 years ago, whatever.
Not so popular now?
It's just, the vibe of it fell away a little bit.
Why do you think so?
I think the organization's just had some problems. I think
How important is it again, how important do you think it is for organizations to maintain some of these sports, right? If it's not maintained well, these things will just disappear. And very much so like action sports, if these things aren't navigated in the right way, there's a way where if it doesn't happen for a year or whatever else, it can really change the trajectory on it.
I think the hardest thing about off-road right now is it's a sport that basically is run. It's mostly a wealthy men's sport. So like a lot of the ways, it's not about what's right for business sense, because most guys that are racing are not doing it for business, they're doing it for pleasure, right? That's their way to go and race. So if it's not enjoyable, they're not going to want to do it, right? That's why none of these big teams in Baja are really going there to Dakar, because it's not, Dakar is challenging. There's a lot of things to go around. It's not, for Baja, you guys have been, right? Did you pre-run?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so like you can't do that, like that. How fun?
Running a Raptor.
Yeah. What would you have fun? Did you go eat tacos? Did you go to all these different places and cities and see all this fun stuff?
I had fun.
Yeah, before racing, seeing Dakar and that type of. So what
doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. So like that's where the organizations have a tough time in the States, even with short course, is that you're dealing with like wealthy people that just want to have fun, right? Well, sometimes fun doesn't always go with making money for the sport.
100%. Definitely correct there.
So, and I think that's where I think the short course thing fell apart, was that I think there was too many people wanting to have fun with it. But, a guy like me, to have fun, I need to be on television. I need to try to have it be interesting for the fans. And, the wealthy guy just wants to go there and have a big barbecue with his friends and fly in, fly out. And,
Yeah, it's like anything now. It's even, you look at, what's that little thing they do in the desert? Not little. Everyone goes to
Burning Man,
right? It's like that thing.
I wanted to say that, but I was like, no way he's talking about Burning Man. How are we going from here to Burning Man?
Because I'm gonna say it's. There are people that fly in and build these fake camps, and I'm a burner, or I'm go to Burning Man.
Yeah,
probably Brittany, if she was to do it, she'd fly in on a private plane
For sure.
She would go to the camp that's pre-set up
Absolutely.
there. It'd be catered.
Yep.
She would have a shower. She would have everything she needs, and then she'd ride a little bike into the desert.
Yeah, and I
take
just go a
pictures in her
couple days
underwear and
and
be
get
like,
out.
"I'm in Burning Man."
For sure.
Yeah,
And then
that's
get
what-
back on a plane
yeah.
and fly on a private plane out of there.
You hit
See,
it.
that's where
That's
lost
what he's
it.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I would
Because
do.
I feel like now it's all about, nipple pasties and stuff with chicks modeling, where I feel like it
Coachella
started
did the
with
same
just
thing though.
guys with their
Coachella
pants
used to
off.
be like Converse, your favorite band T-shirt, and you'd go. Now it's
That's
like a
it.
fashion show.
It ruins it.
That's why I don't go to Burning Man.
How many Bajas have you done?
How many have you been?
So we've
Wow.
You've never been to Coachella?
No, I've been to Coachella.
She
I've
hasn't
never
missed
been.
one since 2007.
No, I had my last Coachella was when the Red Hot Chili Peppers played. That was my last one.
that was last year.
Yeah. I've never been to Burning Man, and I don't really have a desire to go.
We tried to go with the TV show back in the day, and they allowed us. And that's when I think Burning Man was cool, because to the open eye, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was cool, and you have your own imagination. Then that was because we had the show pre-Instagram per se. Maybe Twitter was around, and we were going to go film an episode there. They were going to maybe let us in. They didn't let us in. But before then, there was no illusion. Like you had made up on your own mind what it was. And then after Instagram and everything came out, you know exactly what it is because you'd see it on Instagram. You're like, fuck, like that ruined it. But anyway,
we do an event called King of the Hammers. It's in February every year.
Yeah.
It's in Johnson Valley, like an hour and a half from here. And they say that they have the same amount of motorhomes there now as Burning Man.
Wow.
I bet that's a pretty fun.
Oh,
fun
dude!
party.
But now just imagine it like instead of being about art and music, it's about like off-road trucks
Yeah.
smashing shit and
That's
you know
sick.
and literally
bonfires,
drinking beer and you know.
We did an event years ago. We went to Alaska because I had this motorhome for a long time. 2006 Fun Mover, garage back, 31 feet, double pop out, no big deal. Anyways, these guys are all like,
Diesel or V8,
diesel.
dude.
And we went to this event called Arctic Man. And these guys show up and they were like, yo, why are we here? And all it was 5,000 motorhomes and 10,000 snowmobiles. And they were like, this is the worst ever. And I was like, this is my people. Like, I own a motorhome. I'm one of them. And
It was
they're
also
like,
negative 30.
yeah. And they were like, can we go? I want to leave. And everyone wanted to leave, but it was fun.
Because it was negative 30.
Yeah, it was cold. It was cold. It was cold.
Like,
but-
you had to, like, get up the courage and get drunk enough before you would open the RV door and run to the tent to where they had heated to where the bar was.
But
And
it's
some
funny.
nights-
God, it's terrible.
No, we had a good time, though. The
No,
footage
but
was
I think
good.
like what you're saying
Yeah.
about, you know, the event you do
Yeah.
just an hour and a half from here. It's about these people who own these,
100%.
you know, the toys, this lifestyle of motorhomes and 4x4. And when you get all them together, it's like they are having their own Burning Man.
Oh, they are
or
100%.
Coachella.
How many Bajas have you done?
So we have, I've done the Ball 1000 probably 6 or 7 times, and I've won it 3 times.
Right.
So yeah,
And it's always obviously starts in the same area.
No.
Then it always ends in,
yeah. So normally, so it's when it's a loop, it starts and finishes in Ensenada every time.
and that's the 500.
Nope, 1,000.
Yep.
So they do every 3 years. For 3 years it's a loop, and then the 4th year normally it goes all the way to La Paz or Cabo.
Okay. Yep.
And then next year, for the first time ever, they're going to start down south and actually race up.
Come on.
So
What's like one of the because I know when I did it, I experienced some super gnarly shit. Like I got in the car, and when I got in the car, somebody looked in my window and goes, "Okay, cool. Somebody just died on the next corner up. Good luck. See you later." And that's pretty gnarly. Like my adrenaline was going. I was like pretty nervous, pretty scared. And the next thing you know, I get in the car, and the last thing the person says to me is, "Somebody just died. See you later. Good luck." And I was like, "Fuck."
yeah.
A lot of crazy things happened there.
Yeah, the difference there is that type of racing, you know, like we said, is you start until you go until you're finished. So, you know, the fast guys do it in 18, 19 hours. And then there's a lot, you know, the top 20 guys do it in whatever, 20 to 25 hours. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, how long did it take you? Like 50 hours. I'm like, you were out there for 3 nights.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it took us that long to get to finish, like 50 hours.
Don't they do different classes? Like, don't
Yeah.
they do like dirt bikes?
They do, and they got like stock
cars?
Volkswagens, literally stock
That's pretty
Volkswagen bugs. You can go out there, and they do like
Why is that a
12.
thing?
People love
Like
it.
the
dude.
buggy thing is just a thing,
It's
right?
just, that vibe, that people, dude. They all click together. They're, you know, they have that atmosphere.
Are you in that clique?
Dude, I'm not gnarly enough, dude. Those stock, they're
they're
that half the ground, like,
Yeah.
and they got stock tires.
like no suspension.
And they drive, yeah, dude. They're the guys that they'll drive, and you're like, they'll sleep in the desert for 3 nights. You know, the car's moving, but like,
yeah. Well, that's
they're-
because
yeah,
they're doing drugs from the 70s still. You know,
You're in Mexico, dude. You can get anything you want.
yeah, dude. Real frack on there, loaded up, ice chest, spare parts.
You won 3. You won it 3 times.
Yes.
What's the most memorable one?
I would say the one we went all the way down south, right? So like the 3rd year was the big one where it went all the way down to La Paz. So for us to be able to go, it was same thing. Like it took us 26 hours. So by the time you get off the start line, it's 2:00 in the afternoon, and then you drive until the sun goes down, and then you drive through the entire night, and then the sun comes back up, and you get back in the car, and you drive until 4:00 in the afternoon the next day. So it's pretty wild, that experience. But the crazy thing is that your team has to drive the same amount of time on the highway, which is more dangerous than the race cars. So like, dude, we had a car one time. One of my guys, either something happened or he fell asleep, but middle of nowhere, 2.5 hours from the nearest town, fell asleep, went off the road, crashed. It like rolled 3 or 4 times. It like totaled the car. But we had to like, you basically have 20 minutes because the race is still going. So like we can't sit there and think about it, right? We stripped everything off of it. We got to the car, we got to the race car, got him, got the car pitted and everything, went back, and some locals completely stripped it. And
Took everything.
like we took all the parts that we could, but like, yeah, they stole the lights off of it. Everything. I mean, the roof rack.
You ever see that movie Lord of War?
Yeah.
Where they land the airplane and they strip everything?
Yes.
That's basically that.
Straight up.
so wait, when you did this, did you win it 3 years in a row?
I think so.
Damn, were you like just a
Dude,
legend in
it was
Mexico,
Paul,
or
dude.
what?
We got some. It was gnarly. We had some like good things going for us. That we had some great years though. Like right before I was getting into focusing on rally and stuff, we focused a lot of time and effort to go down there and try to win that race. Like that was our goal was to go, it's funny. You spend all year trying to chase that 1,000-mile race.
That's crazy. And then you get like nothing at the end.
I mean, like a $50 trophy.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's all for the love of the sport.
That's 100%
Is
for the
it
love
a
of
big
sport.
trophy though?
No.
Oh,
Dude, I got like
that
it's
would
like a
bum
plaque.
me out.
It's-
See? Yeah.
I have it's funny. I feel like I missed the era of the big trophies.
I know. Why? I feel like they need to come back.
Yeah, we were watching. I've been referencing this a lot, but me and Danny obviously watched a lot of stuff together. We watched Killer Sally, Sally the Killer,
Oh, Killer Sally.
and
the
one of the
bodybuilder.
But anyway, one of the guys in the back, like he literally bodybuilding trophies. Those guys had the trophies,
Yeah, they had good trophies.
huge trophies.
Yeah. The whole trophy thing, like the guys that have like the 6-foot tall trophies, I have none.
We should make some trophies.
The hardest one I ever had though, I raced in Portugal one time and I won a sword.
That's
Want a
dope.
sword?
What?
I won a full on radical like hand,
Portugal.
That
in
sounds
Portugal.
cooler than a
So, like,
trophy.
Portugal
amazing.
trophies are sick.
Literally engraved. It was all engraved on it, like what we won and everything. But I had to I'm sitting there going like, okay, so I'm in Portugal. Am I even allowed to take that into the airport?
Right, you have to claim it.
Right. No, didn't even have to do anything because it's a trophy and not a sword. I was allowed to just keep it in my bag.
Nice.
So I was like, stressing out that it was going to be gone when I got home.
I flew to the Bahamas one time with a pirate sword. Pretty cool.
And did you lose it?
No, I just walked around with
Why'd
a
you bring
pirate
it?
because I wanted to have a pirate kind of day.
It's a pirate's life.
and no problems checking in a pirate sword.
Isn't that wild?
But you got to check it in,
Right, right.
It's pretty wild. The whole traveling with unique things is I've had to bring car parts, like all kinds of random stuff that
What's the weirdest thing you've had like get pulled up through customs?
I would say it's camera equipment, like batteries are what get you in trouble because when it goes to the x-ray machine, it looks like a bomb.
Yeah.
So as soon as they scan it, like we were in Dubai one time, the x-ray machine, it just, the way the wires, all the wires were on top of the batteries. When you're looking through an x-ray, it just looks like all these crazy colors with wires going so that turned into a full-blown cavity search in the back room, took everything out of the bags. Dude, he literally had to go into the special back room there for like 5 minutes. We're like, this is it. He's not coming back out.
Yeah, not easy being a camera
And
guy.
then in Africa once, you're not allowed to have drones in certain countries because of, like everything going on, and got our drone taken away and got warned that can never come back. Definitely cannot fly drones in some countries.
Damn.
Why's that?
Because of all the military stuff going on.
Oh, okay, yep, that makes sense.
Right,
So Saudi Arabia is
because
probably not a good
they
place
don't
to have
like
a
here in
drone.
America. If you put the drone up and you're in like airspace, it'll not let you go there. There's
really?
Oh yeah, like if you take your drone right here, like if there's the Corona Airport, it won't let you fly in its path of.
How won't it let you?
It
just
has like
stops?
it's a GPS, so like it all literally will just hit a wall and tell you that you're in
very, like,
airspace.
Like the Truman Show.
Pretty big brothers
much.
here.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you specialize in outfitting and upgrading cars. What's the key to creating the setup? And I'm trying to find here, like, what's the key to success there? And I'm trying to find a build you did of the big truck. Why can't I find it?
Oh, my M2. I don't know if it's on my social media.
Have you not posted a picture of that car?
Yeah, not really.
That's not legal.
No, it's a big my M2 you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that.
So the Jeeps.
Where'd you get up the
What's
okay,
an
go with the
M2?
Jeeps.
The M2 is I built it for Dakar, like kind of like you with the motorhome thing. When I showed up to Dakar the first time, I wasn't like prepared as like I wasn't the cool guy. I didn't fit in with all the big guys, so I built the vehicle to fit in.
Just to show off.
I had to fit the part. But like the Jeep side is just a performance side. It's all about like everywhere we go, you want to be able to out climb or outdo anybody on the obstacles.
There it is.
And there it is. And so for me, it's all about performance.
Whoa.
So I built this. Yeah, we built the whole thing.
Dope.
So like in the back
Hang
is a
on.
lounge, and then it's got storage in the very back. It's got lights all the way around the outside. It's got a huge Rockford stereo system in it, generator. It sits 4 people in the front. It's all the back and front's air conditioned. The back and front are heated, and then everyone has their own charging port. So like when you're driving on the road, you don't like everybody can have their own stuff going on. And then it's got TV. It's got 3 TVs in it. So like for the enjoyment, you can watch TV down the road. So the thing is a beat, and it's on 44-inch tall tires, 4-wheel drive. So it's You can go in the sand. You can go in the dirt. I don't really take it in the dirt. I don't want to get stuck.
Thing's beautiful.
Like who's gonna pull that thing out?
I don't even know. That's why I'm very careful where we go. But
How did you come up with the idea to do that?
when we were over in Dakar, or when we were over in, it was actually in Africa, when I saw like a lot of the teams over there have trucks like that, but none of them are made with American style trucks, right? That's a Freightliner common here in America. But like when you're over in Portugal and Saudi Arabia, they use like MAN trucks. Freightliner is not really popular over there. So they don't use, so I wanted to like mesh both worlds together. So want to create something different, do something that no one else has done. And it tows good, puts 4 people in it, comfortable, and I can sleep in it.
Yeah.
We should do a road trip to Mammoth in that.
Let's go.
Winter. Hello.
Yes.
How when you guys ship all this stuff, like saying going to Dakar, do you just put everything into like shipping containers?
So nothing goes in containers because we put everything in those trucks. So we load there's like 6 of them. All the stuff will get loaded in the trucks, and then the trucks go on the boat. So all you do is you drive that truck onto a plate like this. You know, it's big, but the truck will go on a plate, and then there's like 4 ropes that go to one, and they literally put that thing on. It's the gnarliest. And the only reason I know that is because some fan that worked in the port was sending me photos of my truck get loaded. I'm just
No way.
Yeah, like I knew where it was when it landed inside. When we went to Peru, I knew when it landed in Peru, where it was. Like people, just like when driving on the road, I'm like telling my semi driver, I'm like, dude, you're driving in the wrong lane. What? How do you know? I'm like, some dude is chewing me out saying that you're driving like an asshole in the wrong lane.
Yeah, you want to put those new fancy luggage tags on
air
that,
tags.
You know?
So,
Air
but
tags,
Air
yeah.
tags.
it is wild how they transport, you know, but anyways, the race cars always fly. So that way we don't have to worry about, because if there's a problem in customs with trucks, if it goes on an airplane, it makes it easy to get it in and get it out.
At age 22, you become a team owner and one of the youngest team owners, or the youngest team owner in the short course. How that is like a huge milestone, and obviously big for the Currie family. Like that had to be a lot of pressure put onto you.
Yeah, I would say the reason for that was literally when I started racing. My dad's whole thing with racing was like, look, if you do all the work, like you do the mechanics, you do the marketing, you do everything, it's a job. If you hire people to help do the job, it's a career. Right. So if you're going to do this, you're never going to grow if you keep it a job. Right. Because the problem is you get so busy doing what you're doing that you'll never be able to grow into something new.
Yep.
So for me, that always stuck. So like I took all my money, lived in my parents' house, but I had mechanics working for me. I had all this stuff going on. I was living in my parents' house in the bedroom I grew up in, but I had like a fleet of people, team, the whole thing, shop, all of it. But
All in your bedroom?
No, well, I lived in the bedroom. I mean, if it was cheaper, I would have. If it was cheaper, I would have done that way. No,
Must have been a loft.
right. But yeah, I invested everything I had to make it so that I had people working for me to help make myself better. It wasn't about just me.
Yeah, I mean that would have also made you grow up really fast too.
Oh yeah, dude. The responsibility, well, dude, paying people, like that's the shit part is, you know, when sponsors are late on payment, I'm like, the guys, they're going to quit if they don't get paid. So it's like, no matter what, everyone's getting paid when I'm totally going in debt, right? Like there's a lot of things I learned to grow up very quickly with contracts, when you're getting paid, when you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Like registrations, vehicle registrations, getting a semi cross country when you got to pay all those tolls. And there's a lot of shit that can make the whole party stop real quick.
Yeah, that's a lot going into it. I mean, I feel like I figured out the registration thing as I got older in life. Like now in my 30s, I feel like I started getting really good at it. But there were some times where it's just hard. You got a lot of vehicles. It's hard to get the registration going.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a bunch of unregistered vehicles.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Well, the problem is now is like, because you have people driving them, right? If they get stopped in a car that doesn't have all, like, especially the semi, if it's not done right, like they'll just stop it and that's it. Like they'll park you and you can't move until it's all fixed, which if it's Friday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, like that's Monday morning. So you can't, the event's already over at that point. So yeah, I have like 45 registrations it's a nightmare between trailers, trucks, Jeeps, UTVs.
What's the favorite car you have?
Favorite car I have, when my grandpa passed, I got a 1934 hot rod.
Have I seen that?
Nope, it's never been. I drove it 5 miles, and that's it. It's basically sitting in the back of a garage covered.
Yeah.
I've never pulled it out, but he restored the whole thing. He was an insane car builder. And so I drove it once and put it in a cover, and it's just sitting. My goal is to have a museum one day. So that car is worth
car museum.
Yeah, that car is worth a lot. And then that was my first. So, but I have like some fun. I'm building a 1965 Ford Mustang right now with a 650 horsepower big block in it. I got a Camaro with the 670 horsepower big block in it. So I'm a car guy for the power, and then the Jeep stuff for Jeeping.
Right. So a lot of milestones, a lot of victories between Baja, the Dakar. You've had some X Games gold medals in there when that was kind of going on. To you, like, what's your most kind of like memorable win, or like most memorable kind of, like between, they're all very different, right? What you did X Games is completely different than Baja. Baja is obviously a million times different than the Dakar.
I actually forgot. I'm an X Game gold medalist.
He is.
Forgot about that.
Hey, don't worry. We're here to remind you.
You're amongst other X Games gold medalists.
Dude, for me, the Dakar win, like to win on an event that Americans been trying to do it for 47 years, that it's gonna be hard to beat that in anything else I do. So
cool.
That's definitely a big one.
And then next for you, like what's your next kind of like major goal or major achievement you want to hit with?
So next goal is to go back down. Next year's Ball 1000 starts down in La Paz and goes back up. So it's going to be one of the biggest off-road events that's going to happen for a while. So we're going to do a bunch of focus and effort to get ready to prepare for that.
Sick.
So it's going to be a big one. You guys should come.
I was going to say, if you need any,
you should come down and pre-run. You should come pre-run.
Okay, I can be the pre-runner.
Dude.
Doesn't the pre-run take forever?
You drive like 250. No, well, it depends on what you're in.
All right,
they got to be in like UTVs.
Okay,
then you go fast.
I want to go fast.
When's the last time you went in any like UTV? Like within the last 2 years, 24 months?
UTI.
Like a Polaris Razor. Yeah, too.
I went in a Razor where we did the Doonies event.
Okay, that's lots changed.
But I mean, I did do a trophy truck race in Odessa.
In Odessa?
In Odessa, Texas. 250 miles.
Really?
Yep.
What was it?
I was a navigator.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, V8 though. It was a big one.
It
was big.
That's rad.
It was really loud. And one thing I noticed was like how when you're on the ground, there's like so much movement, and then finally you catch air, and it's like, oh. So I'm definitely, I like going fast.
Do you guys got to come out? Come to the Hammers in February if you all want to come out. We have UTVs. Come out and you got to come experience it. You'll see a little bit of Burning Man.
Nice.
You'll see cars on fire.
A little bit of Coachella.
Yeah, a little bit of Coachella. There's music going on.
A little bit of Baja 1000.
Yeah, it's got it all. That's why I think it's the biggest event. It is the biggest off-road event in the United States now.
Really?
But it's not. Yeah, competitor-wise, it's big. I mean, there's like 200 competitors, but there's thousands, like 80,000 people in the middle. It's the Burning Man theory. Like it's a dry lake bed that turns into a full-blown town. They got streets
and
with
you
names.
race around all the people?
Yeah, they have that. Yeah, that's literally like on one lake bed, and then you race around all the desert around it. But at night, see, the race course is only live race course when you're racing from like 8 in the morning till 5 p.m. So from 5 p.m. till 7:30 in the morning, there's people everywhere.
Wow.
It's gnarly.
Those are the hours we do best in.
Yeah. Up late. We have this thing that we finish with. We love you. We appreciate you, Casey. Danny has his lightning round that he finishes with. And you just got to be on your toes for these ones. Otherwise, like, things happen.
Who was your biggest inspiration growing up?
Dad.
Shout out to Dad.
What's your lucky number and why?
14, just family number. Dad and Grandpa both ran it.
Second favorite vehicle in your possession?
Second, trophy Jeep.
Trophy Jeep?
Mm-hmm.
Will you raise your kids as little racers? We're
in football right now.
Oh,
I'm a flag. We're going for the championship on Friday night, actually. Right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
What positions?
He loves just tackling and ripping flags.
Right.
So So whatever, I don't know on the
Flag
football
football.
side, whatever
I
on that
didn't know you're allowed to
defensive
tackle
side,
in flag football.
Well,
he loves
just-
to grab the flag.
he loves to be aggressive. I don't really know where we're at yet. We're still learning because Dad doesn't know anything about sports, so I'm still learning.
Do you know what's crazy though? Rick Dawn's kid is like a really gnarly quarterback.
Oh no
Like
way!
he's super into football. So
That's
Monster
badass.
Energy in the family.
Right?
We're raising these kids to be quarterbacks.
That's right. We need some good ones out there. In your opinion, who's the most legendary racer of all time?
I would say most legendary is going to be Robbie Gordon.
Shout out to Robbie
Right.
Gordon.
The guy-
I just got a Robbie Gordon jacket.
No way!
24 DuPont.
No, that's Jeff Gordon.
My bad. Robbie Gordon he didn't race NASCAR, hey?
He did.
Oh, he did. And then
Yes.
has the Gordon Racing. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. My bad.
No, yeah, he did a little bit of everything. Just a wild guy though.
Final question relating to football. Who is going to go to the Super Bowl this year?
Oh, I don't like right now. So it's funny, dude. I didn't even watch football until I got the shotgun beards with Gronk. Once I did that, I became a Buccaneers fan because when he switched to Buccaneers, then I became a Tom Brady fan. But I don't know. They're not doing that good this year right now.
Vikings.
So
We're in a Vikings house.
Eagles.
We're in the Vikings house. No, I'm a Charger. Let's go, Herbert.
I've been watching more and more. It's funny, dude. I got all kinds of theories, but I watched baseball for the first time ever because if the Phillies won the World Series, that means the economy was going to crash because every time they won the World Series, the economy crashed.
Well, thank God the economy's not going to crash.
That's right.
eh?
That's 1980.
Because they lost?
1980 and 2008 was when they won the World Series. And both years were recessions. So I got to get into football. I had to get into baseball to make sure, see where we're going with my investments.
Very
Right.
smart.
Right.
Very
business.
smart.
Right.
I mean, if the economy's doing
Why
good,
are you
I'm
looking
sure
at me?
people are buying extra car parts. What are you saying? You got
what's
something to
your
say?
favorite football team?
I'm a Rams fan.
Just because they won the Super Bowl.
I went no. Not because I'm a Rams and a Raiders because I live in Vegas and I lived in LA and I went to the Super Bowl when they won the Super Bowl at
Dang.
Ram Stadium. So
You're a ramming Raider.
yeah,
Raiders suck right now. So do the Rams, by the way.
Yeah.
I like Cooper Kupp.
Boom. She's single, so she's just like that's the things she does every episode.
Too good.
We love you, Casey. We appreciate you, and good luck with everything moving forward. Let's
Thank you, guys.
let's get another Dakar win under the belt.
Yeah.
Huh?
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you. That's a wrap.
Unleashed with the Dingo and Danny. Fueled by Monster Energy.